What is up, everybody? Welcome on into a Halloween edition of Alarm Fantasy Football here on a Friday. I'm your host, revolutionary Andrew Cooper. This is the King's Highway, and alongside me, of course, my co-host in Alaska, Howard Bender. Howard, how are you doing today, buddy?
Oh, baby, doing good. Coop, thanks for having me on.
Oh, baby, yes. It is Halloween. We got how's the weather up there? I hear the dogs barking. Is that Jaboo back there?
Yep, it's all of them.
It's all of them. It's just all of them, dude.
All of them.
Excellent. Must have seen a porcupine up there. So
That's right.
yes, welcome on in, everybody. It is Halloween here. Let's get some Halloween music going. Why not, right? Is that spooky enough?
Yeah, I like it.
All right. Just a little. It's fun. I noticed that they added Halloween music for today. So yeah, here's what we're doing today. Happy Halloween, folks out there. And we're doing what we do every Friday. We're jumping in and we're making an FFPC lineup. As part of that, we're going through every single matchup. We're hitting on all the top picks, right? All the top plays. The way it works at FFPC, for those that have never joined us, my hat keeps hitting my mic. For those that have never joined us, you can use any player you want. You just can't use two players from the same team. So there's no prices, no salaries, no draft. We just want the chalk of the chalk of the chalk, and there's no stacks. You can't stack a quarterback with a wide receiver or a tight end or anything like that. It is full PPR. It is tight end premium. So that's the deal here. Let's shut this it is tight end premium. It is Halloween. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to pop in. We're going to cover every game and just tell you who the top plays are, who the sneaky plays are. The thing is, we don't want to get too sneaky. We do want guys that are going to finish top 5 at their position, but they have to be guys we truly believe in. We don't want to pick like wide receiver 20 in our rankings that we think could finish 12. That doesn't help us. It really doesn't. So, Colby, you ready for the assignment?
Yep, I'm ready. Can't wait.
Last time we did this together, we came very close. I was looking at some of our old messages. It was like down to the wire. Last week we had some bad beats. Tight end premium format. Jake Ferguson of all people scored 0 points, dude.
0.0.
0.0. Yeah, dude. Throw that T in the bay and let's get going here, dude. So yeah, video game bar music. That's exactly what it sounds like. Not Halloween in any way. So here's how we're going to track it. I'm going to pull this up. It's got all the games here. Is there any news we got to hit on first? Let's see. Chris Greer was fired by the Dolphins. Travis Hunter to IR with a non-contact knee injury he suffered in practice, which is not good, Colby. I mean,
nope.
Is there anybody that are you adding Diami Brown or Parker Washington with this going on?
I probably lean Parker Washington between the two. He's already got 2 games this year with 10+ targets, so I'd probably lean him. And I think it was even last year we've seen him at times kind of pop off when he's gotten the added snap. So more so looking to Parker Washington than Brown. Yeah,
I added Parker Washington in the Scott Fish Bowl. So yeah, not much news beyond that. So why don't we jump in? First game here on the slate: Vikings Lions, and the Lions are favored 9.5 here. So their implied point total is one of the highest on the week, 28.75. Vikings not so much. Before we get into this game, Colby, I want to ask you a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Let's say hypothetically the Vikings had a quarterback like, I don't know, say like Sam Darnold. What do you think the spread of this game would be? You think it would be 9.5?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think maybe. Well, we got to reserve judgment on JJ McCarthy, but the books are not sold so far. So are you willing to put any Vikings into this game?
I don't know how you can feel good about it. I think if I'm going to kind of parlay out seeing kind of what the lineup's going to end up being, I don't think we're going to have any Vikings in it, most likely, with what we're kind of looking at. The Lions side is interesting, and the tough thing about Detroit is just every week it's just you have to ask between the same players. Right. Is it Gibbs? Is it St. Brown? Which one, if you're going to go with a Lion, which one is it going to be? I'd probably between the two. I love Amon-Ra. Minnesota's bad against perimeter receivers, and Amon-Ra is actually playing out wide a little bit more and has been pretty good. And then obviously we won't look at it here, but I think this could be a Jameson Williams week. I don't think we're going to go there here, but I'm just kind of throwing it out there that it does seem like a really good week for Jameson Williams.
And they've been talking him up too. That has me feeling like the play is actually not Gibbs, not Amon-Ra or Jameson, but actually Gibbs, because we got to have one of them in there. So Maybe that's the move. On the Vikings, we got to put Jefferson's name on here out of respect, right? And maybe
Sure.
we'll use him. We'll see. But yeah, conditions are not super great, and he didn't look all that good in the first couple games with JJ. He looked a little bit better with Wentz, I will
Mhm.
say. And for those that don't know, folks, Colby does a ton of our. I mean, he does a ton of stuff just in general, but the wide receiver stuff he does our DFS wide receiver stuff. So I had to. We've been getting kind of crushed out here. I had to bring in a ringer that knows all the matchups this week. So, Colby, you are tasked with that. We need to get in the money this week.
Yep.
Next game here, Chargers, Titans. Chargers favored by 10. Titans have been brutal. Cam Ward's been bad. No Titans on the board for us, right? Are you somebody that was going out adding Chimray DK, or are you just avoiding that team entirely?
The leagues I would probably want him. He was actually already owned, so I'm not
Right.
really looking there. There are certain sites like that have different games where like he is kind of appealing. Like first one comes to mind, like Smash Up Fantasy Sports, because you can get points for return yards. Like that's super intriguing for him.
Yeah.
But in this one, I don't really think we need to look really at any Titans. If you're going to put one out of respect, it probably would be him, to be honest. And you don't really feel good about anything. The Charger side's interesting because I really like Lad McConkey. He's finally back and doing Lad McConkey things, but I might actually like Kamani Vidal more. Jeffrey Simmons didn't practice Wednesday, Thursday with the hamstring issue. They already suck against the run. And my God, if he doesn't play, you have the lead running back on a team with a double digit favorites. Like Vidal is going to be really intriguing too.
Oh boy, no Jeffrey Simmons, man. That's like their one good player.
It is, and they won't trade him too. They're just they want
Well,
to hold on to him for the upcoming matchup against Houston, I guess.
yeah, they took a crazy risk drafting him, man. For those that don't remember, he not only had this video come out where he was like in an altercation with like a woman, but he tore his ACL in February right before the combine. Like, and they still picked him in the first round, and it turned out to be a really good pick.
Mhm.
Should we put Gadsden's name on here just to ward away evil spirits?
I mean, I could be sold into playing him,
We,
but
I mean, we
sure.
might have to in the format like this, the way he's been playing.
It's
Maybe.
there's not much more you could want from a tight end. Like he's unrivaled now for snaps. It just keeps going up. There's obviously a rapport with Justin Herbert. So yeah, and I mean, as there are other people who like Lad McConkey just as much as I do at the Titans trading Roger McCreary away. Not that he was exactly like an elite corner by any means, but if everybody goes there, if everyone zigs to the Lad McConkeys of the world, maybe we end up zagging to Gadsden and try to gain leverage with the Chargers.
I feel like a lot of people are going to be on Gadsden. The
Yeah.
one knock on Gadsden for this week is that the Titans are a top 10 team in points allowed versus the tight end. They've been pretty good. And they're also DVOA has them at 6 versus the tight end. So it's not a great matchup for tight ends. So we'll play it as we go. I think one of these three guys is going to be in our lineup though, based on this 26.75 implied point total. And for folks that may not have seen the sheet before or might not understand what's going on, the over under, just for basic terms, is the total points Vegas expects to be scored in this game. The spread is obviously who they think is going to win the game by how much. And we can take those numbers and figure out what Vegas is implying that the score might be. Now, the score can't possibly be 19.25 to 28.75. That's impossible. But that's what those lines are telling us. And it gives us a good idea for fantasy, like what teams are expected to go crazy, which teams are. For instance, this Packers-Panthers game, Panthers expected to be absolute dog water. Packers expected to be very good. So no Panthers in the lineup.
I mean, none that you'd feel great about. Packers are actually pretty good, like against receivers. There's no notable tight end. I mean, there's not even the only one would be like maybe Ted McMillan out of respect if a rookie can already get his
Yeah,
name thrown in, but we're not going to go with him. So
we're not going to go there. Yeah. So what about the Packers though? We have to have a Packer.
maybe Josh Jacobs, just because he's basically a walking touchdown. He's in there. I won't fault anyone for Tucker Kraft. You know, Carolina's in the bottom third of the league in fantasy points allowed to tight ends, and Kraft has a nose for the end zone as well. So Jacobs and Kraft are probably the two that I like the most. The receivers is just you're playing Russian roulette with those receivers trying to pick the right one.
I don't want to do that. For not only the Panthers bottom 3 in points allowed, but you look at DVOA, which tries to account for basically league average, and it tries to look at opponents. Like if you go out and you don't face a single team that uses a tight end at all, they try to account for that. Also, if a team started their season facing, McBride, Kraft, Laporta, Kelsey, whoever, then it will account for that too. The Panthers are not only the stone worst team against the tight end, but they're listed at like -40, and the next closest team is at -10. Like they are by far the worst team. All last year, they were the second worst team in DVOA. So it is a really good matchup for Kraft. But it's also
It
such a good matchup for Jacobs, you know?
Yeah, it is. And you look at Carolina too, in terms of just like raw fantasy points, not even looking at fantasy points per game. If you just slap 2 more touchdowns onto that total, they go from allowing the 8th most to like the 5th, almost the 4th most
Right.
fantasy points allowed. And now we're talking about a little bit different. So yeah, the Packers are going to be interesting. I love the total. I love the spread for Josh Jacobs, but Tucker Kraft is interesting. I think the only thing that maybe gives me a little pause with Kraft is that he doesn't always get the elite kind of workload and volume
Right.
that the other guys get. And you said this is tight end premium. So maybe we do want a tight end who might push. If there's a tight end that can push for 8 to 10 targets, that might be more beneficial than hoping for Kraft's, 4 for 65 and 2 touchdowns.
See, that's why Colby's on here. He gets it, dude. Tight end premium does not lift all boats evenly. You don't get extra points for yards. You don't get extra points for touchdowns on FFPC, only for targets. And I will say the one knock on Kraft's profile is actually kind of a big one historically. He blocks on 14% of his pass plays, which once you get over 15%, I've only seen 3 players finish top 5 blocking on more than 15% of their pass plays. It was 1 year of George Kittle where he was just a complete unicorn. He had multiple 70-yard touchdowns. Then there was 1 year of Rob Gronkowski where he caught like 11 touchdowns in 10 games before getting hurt and finished like 10-5. And then the only other year was 2013 Julius Thomas, where Peyton Manning threw 55 touchdown passes. And, you could have pushed a shopping cart and Peyton Manning could have thrown a touchdown pass to it that year. So, very rare. It's just he is basically the new George Kittle, based on statistically speaking, the new George Kittle. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that game as well. George's question in the chat: Genty and Worthy for Derrick Henry. Genty's side needs an RB and has good wide receiver depth. What do you think?
The only thing I like about it is that Baltimore's schedule for running backs is really favorable, but it seems a little pricey on the onset, but there's kind of the Vegas has trouble on offense. Who knows if Genty can keep it going? Then Xavier Worthy's competing with not 1, not 2, not 3, but like 7 other dudes for targets in Kansas City. I don't hate it, to be honest, just because I love the schedule upcoming for Henry, but I don't know. I don't think it's a smash accept by any means.
I only have Worthy in 1 league. Do you have Worthy in any leagues?
No.
I have like none in best ball, where best ball is probably his best format because he does get carries every once in a while. The league where I have Worthy, I just never feel comfortable starting him. I don't think I've actually started him since Rice got back. It's just you look at him and you look at his stats and you're like, 3 catches, 5 catches, gets a carry, doesn't really do anything with it. Like, I don't know, man. I think I would do that trade for Henry. I think with Derrick Henry, we saw it last night. I mentioned this on the show that Derrick Henry last year scored an extra 40 PPR points in the 4th quarter of games while they were up by 9 or more points alone last year. 40 PPR points. They use him to hammer those games home, and you saw it last night. Like, it wasn't until 2 minutes left that they took him out when the game was pretty much over. He was just racking up yards at the end, winning that game. And with Lamar Jackson back, with Roquan Smith back, there'll be more of that. So, George, I think I would want to be on the Derrick Henry side.
And actually,
I also love when people put trades in like this and they don't say what side they're on, because then you have to be unbiased. It's so easy to defer as an analyst to be like, "Oh no, don't do the trade, just keep your guys." I love when they phrase it like that. So good job, George.
Yeah, and I will say too, I just want to add in there because we're at the point now. If we start talking about trades, Henry had his bye. Genty, I believe Raiders had their bye because Bowers came back after it. Chiefs haven't had their bye yet. So in theory, week 10, it looks like that's when the Chiefs bye week is this season. You're not going to have Worthy that week already. So you're kind of giving up. That's why a lot of times when I'm looking at deals like this too, I'll start looking at like, all right, I'm trading a guy who has already had their bye or who hasn't had their bye yet for someone who has had their bye. I'm maximizing them in my lineup the rest of the way moving forward. Not that that's like this player sucks, but because he hasn't had their bye yet, I'm trading him. But something to keep note in there, Worthy hasn't had his bye yet.
It absolutely matters, man. Like when you're 7-1, it doesn't matter. When you're 4-4, it absolutely matters, man. Because that's an extra game, like where you're trying to make the playoffs, man. I got teams right now where I put AJ Brown in the trade block in the league where I'm 2-6 because I'm like, if I lose, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, and Travis Hunter just went on IR, so I'm like, you know what? I got to trade him. I got offered Jamison Williams for him straight up, and I don't want to do it, but I might have to. Would you do that at 2-6 if you had to?
You trade Brown for Jamison
My
Williams?
other option is just to start Michael Wilson.
Oh, okay. Well, when you put it in that regards, I might think. I mean, I maybe try to sneak something a little bit extra along with Williams, but I wouldn't blame you. At this point too. You're running out of daylight. You got
If
to
I lose
start
him,
getting
though.
wins, and if you don't end up going anywhere, whether AJ Brown gets you 25 or 0, it doesn't end up mattering. So
Right.
yeah, I'd probably look to get a little bit extra.
The one drawback that I have is this is a 14-team league where 8 teams make the playoffs. So no matter what, I always look at my team and I'm like, we'll just figure it out.
Participation league. That's cool. I like those.
Yeah, it is a very tough league though, oddly.
I believe it.
But yeah. I have Mahomes, Lamb, AJ Brown, Bucky Irving, Trey Benson. I have a hypothetical good team that is terrible. All right, here we go. Back to the games here. Bears, Bengals, 51 point over under. So there's a lot of possibilities in this one. Why don't we start on the Bengals side? And I think the answer is the answer as simple as this.
As long as we have Joe Flacco, he's had like 89 targets the last 3 weeks. Like, it's insane. I wrote about it in the DFS wide receiver coach. I put all of these numbers that I'm like, no one's gonna read through any of this because it's all just in the weeds and everything. I just ended it with, in 3 games with Flacco, Chase is averaging 17 targets, 115 yards, and 28 fantasy points per game. I could have just left it right there, but instead I put all these other numbers about Kyler Gordon, Nick McLeod, all these other guys. Also, I have no clue how Howard does this. My hands are pouring sweat. It's fingerless gloves.
Dude, the fingerless gloves.
His house has to be a damn meat locker, like 50 degrees in there for him to stay cool. I'm gonna be swamped by the end of this.
He lives in Alaska, and he says that his wife Deb keeps the windows open. So I think that it is justified. You feel free to take off the hat, and I already unbuttoned the top button.
I'm committed to the bit. I know Howard would never wear a Texans beanie, but I'm committed to the bit.
You're committed to the bit. Well, I appreciate.
I got to keep my hands not above my keyboard because it's next thing you know, the keys won't start working from moisture in the keys. But yeah, I think it's as simple as Chase.
Impemba tells me the same thing with my DFS article for tight ends, where he's like, people just kind of scroll through and look at the names, right? And I'm like, I don't care, dude. I don't care, because when I write here's the thing, I write those write-ups not for if I'm right, but for if I'm wrong. Because then I can point back and say, hey, here's why. Okay. Here's why we started that guy, and there was thought process behind it. We're not just throwing around names. So Shut up, Impemba. On the Bears side against the Bengals, terrible defense across the board, especially against the pass. So what are we feeling here? Would we go Caleb here? There's probably going to be better quarterback options.
There's going to be better quarterbacks, but he's intriguing. If I knew that Cole Kmet wasn't playing, I would at least put Colson Loveland's name down, but Kmet's practice, so we're not going to go there anyway, so I won't go there. Swift has had a couple DNPs, but it's such a good matchup there. So honestly, maybe Caleb is the name. It's weird to say that team with a 27 point total we're probably not going to get anybody from, but it's just, I don't love it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, who's their kicker, right? Maybe that's
isn't it Moody?
Oh, is it right now?
Well, in fact, or maybe is it Cairo Santos? I don't even know who their kicker is.
Oh, it is Cairo Santos. That's right.
Oh, then we're not going with him. We don't know his name. Plus, I got a great kicker later.
You do? Okay, well, we'll put Cairo Santos on the sheet. Good. Just in case, just in case. So maybe we'll use one. Noah Dunze?
Yeah, I can throw him on there.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, next one here, Falcons, Patriots. Patriots favored by 6. It's been bouncing back and forth, 5.5, 6. Bender's betting against the Patriots again. That's his new favorite thing to do every week. But this week he might be onto something. It's really looking like no Ramondre Stevenson.
Terrell Jennings, baby. Put his name down. Put some respect on his name.
Or
just write not Travion Henderson. Just put that.
But this is our chance. This is our big chance. The Falcons are bad against the run. They have a very good secondary. You agree?
Yeah. I mean, aren't tight ends like not allowed to catch the ball against them?
Yeah, Jesse Bates and Xavier Watts are a big problem. Everyone knows Jesse Bates. The kid Xavier Watts, the rookie they drafted, defensive rookie of the month in September, and he was covering George Kittle like he's been in the league for 4 years. Yep. So I don't know. Yeah, it's not good. They do have with Divine Diablo out, that dude JD Bertrand, dude, he got destroyed last week. let up 8 receptions. So the second play of the game, they threw a pass to Achane that was incomplete. The next 8 passes on JD Bertrand were all completed for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. So you can run and you can throw short to like running backs and slot guys. I don't know. I'm not going to use We're not going to use Hunter Henry. We would never use him in this. Do we consider? I don't like Drake May in this either. I don't.
Yeah.
It'd be Henderson if we're going to use anybody.
I don't think we're going to end up having a Patriot in there, if I'm being honest. But yeah,
Patriots
I mean,
defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
There's so many games this week that it's like I want to like pieces of it, and I just can't.
Can't figure out what piece.
Why. And I can't figure out. I'm trying to see Falcons. Penix is limited. I'm assuming he's going to be back. So,
yeah. What's the latest on London? Is he good to go?
Limited Wednesday, Thursday. So, in theory, should be fine.
Should be fine. Okay. Well, we don't want to go London up against Christian Gonzalez anyway. Do we start Bijan?
Yeah, we got to put his name down.
Ooh, also, Kyle Pitts is a sneaky play, man. Patriots have been pretty rough against the tight end. One of the bottom teams. They just traded away Kyle Duggar. He was only a part-time player anyway. Jalen Hawkins has been banged up a little bit.
Yep, 6th most fantasy points, 5th most yards to tight end. So I like Pitts.
Kyle Pitts, top 5 in so many stats like that we care about: route participation, target share, screens, receptions versus man, pass block percentage. He's tight end 3 in receptions, and he already had his bye. Like, I think, dude, do we go Pitts? I think, dude, Pitts. If we put Pitts in here, we can start the chalk at every other position.
I mean, if New England's going to play a good bit of man, looking at fantasy points data suite, they play it nearly 30% of the time. Pitts has been great against man coverage.
Yep. That's the key to tight ends having success versus man is the key to them scoring touchdowns. Yep. Like we say touchdowns are fluky, but that is one stat that does translate to the red zone because everybody's going 0 coverage or cover 1, where it's basically everyone's a man-to-man and you either have a safety or don't. But like that's where like Jake Ferguson, he leads the league in receptions versus man. He does well. Mark Andrews is very good versus man. You saw it last night, 2 touchdowns. So yeah, Pitts. I mean, let's do it. I want to do it. Next game here. So now we can just go super chalk. So we'll go. You want to start Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah, you have to against the Giants.
I have to. Do we start any Giants? Why are the Giants expected to score 23 points? How? Who?
Vegas must really think the 49ers defense sucks because Houston scored 26 points on them. That's about the only thing that I can come up with. In terms of Giants, if you're looking, probably not in like this type of contest, but DFS, you're going to see hella Tyrone Tracy ownership. Yeah, I don't think we're going to go. I put Tracy's name down just because it's a good spot, but we won't end up using him.
No, yeah. With Fred Warner out, they are no longer – they lost Hufanga this offseason, then Fred Warner out for the season. They're no longer a good defense versus the tight end either, but we'd never go down to like Theo Johnson. He's like a good, decent spot start for people that need that. Yep. Speaking of tight end premium and FFPC, start 1, Chubb, Harvey, Diggs, Juwan Johnson, Keenan Allen. Tempted by Juwan Johnson, but the QB change has me spooked there.
Yes, I really like the Rams this week. So I don't know if I quite want to go there. I know Keenan Allen's been bad. Stephon Diggs is a tough matchup. I don't necessarily trust RJ Harvey yet because of one big game, and Nick Chubb's going to get 14 carries for 41 yards.
I think you just start Juwan Johnson, man.
I would take the upside and probably go Juwan Johnson. Yeah. Here's the thing. You've seen it a lot of times with young quarterbacks. What's the old adage? The tight end's always the security blanket. It might not be pretty, but Keenan Allen hasn't been worth a damn the last couple of weeks. So I would chase him upside with Juwan Johnson because one thing for certain, I should never say that. One thing I'm very confident in is by the third quarter, Saints are going to be playing from behind. It's going to be a pass-heavy script. I can't say the same for the Chargers in their matchup. So I like the volume for the New Orleans passing attack. Not
to mention, if all 3 of these guys, Diggs, Juwan, Keenan, get 4 to 6 targets of low A-dot ball, in tight end premium, the targets for Juwan Johnson are worth more. Mm-hmm. So you might as well just go with that and lean into the format. For those just joining us, we're doing an FFPC lineup. If you want to do a lineup like this, if you want to jump into one of these contests, use promo code ALARM over at my FFPC here. I'll even give you a little QR code. I'll put it right over Howard Bender's face there. If you scan that puppy or use promo code ALARM, they'll give you $25 when you deposit $35 or more. This contest we're in costs $35 to join. So a little pro tip. If you deposit $45 and they give you $25, you'll have $70 in your account. You can do 2 of these lineups. The way that these lineups work is that you can use anybody you want. no draft, no salaries. The only rule is you can't use 2 players from the same team. So we're putting all the top options in here, but see how we have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Gibbs? We can't use both of them. We have to pick one of them. That's the one hard part about this. And the lineups that win every week are just the chalk of the chalk. Like the chalkiest lineup wins. You don't need to get super cute. You just want to have the best players in there at the end of the day. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're looking at. Next game here, Colts Steelers. Colts favored 50-point over under 26.5. Gonna have a Colt in here, right, dude? But there's different options. There's a lot of good options.
Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Tyler Warren are my favorite 3. And I guess if I have 3 offensive weapons, maybe Danny Dimes.
I know. And that's the one thing about this format that's been a problem for us is that, like, I want to get Pittman. I love Pittman. And I want to get Warren in there. We've been starting Jonathan Taylor every week, and it's been the right call every week. And it's probably the right call again. Right.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Pittman. It's such a good matchup. Or I'm sorry, you can't go wrong with Taylor. It's a good matchup for Pittman, but you just look around the league, and we've already put so many other wide receivers that we're going to go with. But Pittman's a dog. That there's no other way to word it. He's just so good.
He's just good, man. He's good, dude. He's a great blocker too. Like there's been pancake blocking people this year. It turns out last year he had a broken back. It was a broken bone. It healed. He's back, dude. He's good.
And a broken quarterback. So
broken quarterback too. Yeah, you can't ignore that part of it too. Quarterback. Broken. I mean, just to snap yourself in the eye socket with a band. I mean, that is just that's something I would picture Jameis Winston doing, but like pretty much nobody else. How do you break your own eye right before a game?
Yeah, I can make more sense of it. Like, growing up playing baseball in my life, you have the resistance band, you tie him to a fence. I don't know where he was tying it to, like the goalpost. That seems pretty thick to tie that thing around. Like, was someone else just holding it? Because that's just
that dude needs to be fired if that's the case. Flex Brown or Warren, brother, you got to give us just a little more information on that. We imagine it's got you're not talking Tyler Warren, you're probably talking Jalen Warren
and probably Chase Brown.
Chase Brown, probably, yeah, because AJ Brown's on bye. So probably Chase Brown or Tyler Warren, but just give us just a little more information on that and we'll weigh in. But I think right now I lean Chase Brown over either Warren. Are you with that?
Yeah, I'm a sucker for Chase Brown. I thought the switch to Joe Flacco was going to be great for Chase Brown's receiving workload. Hasn't quite been there yet because they continue to give touches to the aging corpse of Samaje Perine, but I still think I would lean Chase Brown over any Warren in the league.
No, I fully agree with that, man. So I think this week, Jalen Warren's been getting decent touches. Not doing anything crazy with him, but he's getting like 15 touches a game. So
schedule's getting very favorable too.
Yeah. So I do like Jalen Warren as an option there. On the Steelers side, are we using anybody else? Anybody? Yeah, those are the right guys. So yeah, we're going Chase Brown, brother. Steelers, are we using anybody?
My favorite one, I'm a sucker for DK Metcalf this week. It lines up really well for him. The Colts are not good on the perimeter against receivers. That's where Metcalf thrives. He should see a good bit of rookie Jonathan Edwards, who hasn't been very good in coverage this season. And here's the thing. You like the Colts. You expect them to play from ahead, and that's going to be good for the passing volume. And one thing that irks me whenever I have an Aaron Rodgers running back, but I love it when I have an Aaron Rodgers wide receiver, is inside that 2-yard line. It's a run play, but everybody knows it's sure as hell not a run play. It's one step, throw the little quick slant, touchdown. Like, how many times did Devontae Adams do it? We just saw DK Metcalf have a touchdown with this past week. So I love Metcalf. He's one of my top plays you'll see in the DFS wide receiver coach this week. So I'm going to put his name here.
Rodgers loves calling his own name, doesn't he? That is his signature move. Okay, let's definitely get Metcalf in there. I like that. Broncos Texan here. They're expecting a defensive battle, 40-point over under. I've seen it dip down to 39 in some spots. You're the Texans guy, so you tell me. Is there anything we can pull out of this?
If you go to Fantasy Alarm, look at the NFL odds page. If you search by implied totals, these are the 2 lowest implied totals of the week in the same game. So
in the same game, yeah.
Here's my kicker: Ka'imi Fairbairn.
Oh, good.
Money at home, money in a dome. And as much as it irks me, there are times where it seems like Houston is so content. Once it's within 55, hey man, just play for Ka'imi's right leg. He's great at home where there's no wind. And then when you look at this, Broncos have a super good defense. I'm still reluctant to trust the Houston offense. You're not looking at Stroud. You're not looking at Chubb or Marks. Nico is back with no Pat Surtain, but even he's been a little underwhelming this season. They don't have a tight end. Dalton Schultz finally did practice on Friday, so he should be out there, but you're not looking there. Low point total, a lot of field goals. It would not shock me for this game. to go under, even at 40 or 39, and be
Yeah.
like a 19-16 game where Fairbairn has, a 35, 250s and something, and maybe mix in an extra point because Houston trips and falls into the red zone. So I like Fairbairn.
There was a study that Subverted Down did on Reddit, shout out to him, where he kind of pointed out exactly what you're saying, that like he kind of mapped all the like super great kicker games. And it's kind of interesting where a lot of them were the winning teams in high point scoring games, just because it goes back and forth and the score goes high.
Yeah.
But there was a whole like big red spot in these exact games you're describing, where the score ends up being like 15-10, and the team that wins kicks 5 field goals, right? It's like that's the narrative here of like bend don't break defenses. So I love that, dude. Also, Keami Fairbairn's new hit single, "Money in the Dome," from his album. What was it? Money at Home. Money at Home, Money in the Dome, dude. I love that.
Yep. And CJ Stroud for his career has been better at home too, so that bodes well. And this year, 3 games at home, 9 field goal attempts across those 3 games.
Beautiful,
So
dude.
we'll rock
Play
Fairbairn.
of the week, dude. I'm gonna bet that. I'm gonna bet the over on his. I wonder what the line is. If it's one, they always just set him at 1.5. I might just bet the over on that.
Usually field goals are 1.5, and then kicking point. Sometimes they'll go there. Higher scoring games, you'll see them at like 7.5, but you might have Fairbairn at 6.5 kicking points. Which low scoring games, like I don't believe in this contest that. What's the right word? That neither the Texans nor the Broncos are going to pass up points. They're not going to. Houston's not a team that honestly can even go for it on 4th and 2 because they can't get any interior push. It's going to be a field goal fest. So both kickers are both kickers might be in play, to be honest, because Houston will go that bend but don't break, force those field goal attempts. They love to let Kaimi kick. This might be a kicker. It might be a kicker opportunity.
The Texans are favored. They're at home. Let's go that way. But yeah, both on the table. Hella Ra says need one RB and a flex. So which of these RBs first, Marks or Sharps?
As much as it pains me, Sharps is the one that gets all the goal line work and steals the touchdowns. It's just because Walker's the better back, which is maddening to say the least.
It's killing me.
Marks did get some practice after he popped up with that calf injury. He's the more explosive of the backs. I don't think Houston can run the ball on Denver, so they have to take advantage of Marks's athleticism in the pass game. As long as there's no reports that he's going to be limited in any way, I think I would kind of chase some upside with Woody Marks.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. He's getting like 60% of the snaps as of late. He definitely is more explosive than Chubb. So I'm going Marks just because Sharps, it's like a lot of these games for these type like goal line backs. Look back to the year Jameson, what was it? It was Williams from the Lions. What?
Jamal
Williams. Yes, thank you. Jamal Williams. Like, go back and look at that game log. He was scoring a touchdown like every week, but he was scoring like 8-9 points. Like the games weren't like really knocking you on the floor, So, and that's kind of what Sharps is. He's like he scores a touchdown, and what does he get? 7 points, 8 points. So I'm going Marks. And then at the flex, Franklin, J-Mo, Coker. We like J-Mo in this matchup. They've been talking a lot about him. The offensive coordinator came out and said that he has let Jameson Williams down, right? That's what he said. So if that's his opinion, then he's going to try and make it right this week. And I think that he does. Another one here for Fred, our good pal and member here. Half PPR need a flex out of Slayton, Torrey Horton, Alec Pierce, Monangai, Kenneth Walker. If Cooper Kupp is out, I would entertain Torrey Horton, but he just showed up in the injury report yesterday with a hamstring. So monitor that, but I'd probably just start Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, it would be. I think even with Horton, it'd be Kenneth Walker. I wrote about it on a different site, but the outside zone runs that Walker's going to get lines up very favorably against this Washington defense. I will say, if other than Horton, Alec Pierce is just going to get a 40-plus yard reception in this game. It's just a matter of what else happens with him. So I do like Alec Pierce, and I will throw one note to the question beforehand. I do really like J-Mo, but Troy Franklin does have the best matchup of the Denver wide receivers because he'll be in the slot against Jalen Petrie. He will not see Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley Jr., but I'd still would go J-Mo because I technically, with all the talk from the OC, this counts as a squeaky wheel game for J-Mo, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, with all that, it has to be, dude. So with J-Mo, he's got to go J-Mo, but I do like Troy Franklin, the fact that he's actually the only guy to surpass that 70% snap share other than Cortland Sutton in literally 2 years. So he's not a bad play. And then we did this one. Okay. Next game here, Saints-Rams. Rams supposed to be all over the Saints. Saints starting a rookie quarterback. Rams also quietly, like every site that does grades, PFF, DVOA, they got the Rams defense top 5. I think in DVOA they got them like 2. This is a good defense. You know what I mean? You don't really hear people saying that. Have you been hearing anybody when they list the top defenses say the Rams?
I feel like they all like to say, I feel like I've heard it a lot, but they all say that it's the most underrated defense, yet
Right.
everybody's talking about it, but nobody acknowledges how good they actually are. They are a really good unit. So I think you could look here for the Rams defense. The problem is I love Puka. He's just an absolute target hog, but how much can he do in what we're maybe anticipating to be 3/4 worth of work? They could be up and
Let's just start Puka Nacua.
okay.
Yeah, I think that's what
I
we
like
do.
the defense,
And
but
we'll stay away from all the Saints, dude. I will put the defense on the sheet actually, because if push comes to shove, we are going to have to start a defense.
do have to start one.
Patriots might be all right though.
Yeah.
And yeah, Fred, thanks for the insight. Happy Halloween. Go Blue Jays. Who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for Kevin Gossman to go over his pitching outs. And what's the other one I put in today's MLB underdog article? I don't remember. Make sure you go read it on the site. That's what I'm pulling for.
Go to Fantasy Alarm and check that out. Now, who would you like to win the match if you had to pick a team?
I would like the Blue Jays to win.
Yeah, I'm torn on that because once I do all the math, at the end of the day, the big tiebreaker is my auntie Coop is a Dodgers fan, so I will root for the Dodgers.
Fair.
Plus, the Blue Jays are in the division with the Red Sox, so But the other part of it is that the Dodgers are kind of the evil empire. I'll root for the Dodgers this year. I'm not rooting for them again next year, Coopy. If they are spending that kind of money again, I can't do it 3 in a row. But this is the last year. Jaguars, Raiders here. No Travis. I would have 100% forced Travis Hunter into this lineup if he didn't get hurt. But now that he's hurt, is there a Jaguar you like?
I like the defense.
Yeah.
Geno's throwing interceptions left and right. Defense is healthy. Yeah. And we saw, I believe it was 4 straight games to begin the year. They had multiple interceptions. The Jaguars did, and they have enough that they can get after him. So I like the Jaguars defense. It would have been Travis Hunter for me as well. He was actually written in the DFS wide receiver coach, who I had to reluctantly take out in exchange for Parker Washington. But I really like Jacksonville's defense this week.
Yeah, I like it too. This name has to go on here and possibly in our lineup.
Yep.
Full participant practice. Quietly, despite everything, he's actually tight end 2 in target share behind only Trey McBride. When he was out there, they were just throwing it to him. He was clearly hurt, but dude, might just have to do that.
Yep.
Might just have to do that in this one, even if it's in the flex. Jacob wants to know, boys, what are we thinking? Knicks against the Texans or Jaden against the Seahawks? I think you just start Jaden Daniels, brother.
Yeah, you start Jaden Daniels. I think Houston and Denver's defenses would both be very happy to muddy up this game and keep it low, whereas Seattle is going to go out there and score, and Washington's going to have to do the same thing. So I'll take Jaden.
What do you do when you're in a league that won't trade? Maybe you got to break the ice by take a player on your bench that you never use and just lose a trade, right? Just like take a player that you never use, trade him for a kicker, trade him for somebody terrible. Drop that player, grab somebody off the waiver. Just get the juices flowing. Remind your league that you can trade. Lose a little trade just to get things going with a player that you weren't going to use anyway, and then see if you can spark some interest. And people will be like, "Oh, wait, everyone's trading now. Let's go." I don't know what else to do besides do it that way. It's so hard to. It's a classic. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I've gone into leagues and crafted the best possible trade that would help both of our teams. And I'm actually losing the trade. Literally a league where I have 5 wide receivers and no running backs. And he's got 5 running backs and no wide receivers. And I'm giving up a wide receiver that is great for a running back that's not as good. And they just don't even respond. It's I've been in that situation, bro. It's so frustrating, but you just got to do what you can. Swift or Tracy this week? Swift has been good, man.
It's a great matchup too.
Yeah, it's got to be Swift. He's just been good. I am hesitant. I traded Waddle away for Swift, and I was like, I don't like either guy really. I even like Waddle more than Swift, but we have to admit that the guy is just doing well. We're going to have players from this game here. Chiefs, Bills, 52.5 over under, only a 1-point spread. Both these teams, decent point totals, man. Where do you want to start? Where do you want to go?
Rashee Rice.
Yeah. Just start there and end there.
You can put both Mahomes and Allen out of respect, just because I think 3 of the last 4 games that these two have played, including playoffs, I think have went for 50 plus. There was a 37 mixed in there, I believe. So I think both are in play, but Rashee Rice is the guy.
I think we should just pick a quarterback from this game.
I'm fine with that.
If we don't use Allen, who should we use from the Bills? Cook?
If we don't use it's so hard to run on Kansas City.
I know it sucks.
I love Khalil Shakir. I love the matchup out of the slot against Jamari Connor, but it's just he just doesn't have enough upside, I think, for others, and it's boring.
Let's use Josh Allen as a quarterback.
Okay.
Hooray!
That was easy.
Yeah, it was easy. It's nice. Thoughts on Nico for GPP? I think that's where you would consider something like that. But again, we expect that to be a fairly low-scoring, boring affair. The problem with those is it's tough games is that when it's tough to move the football, you don't get an opportunity for big chunk plays. That's the kind of game that's probably going to be decided by a handful of plays. A turnover at some point. Somebody does actually get a 40-yard play, but I don't know if I really want to do that. I think you want guys in some of these other games that are just like, Colts Steelers, 50-point over under, Bears Bengals. There's a lot more exciting games to pick from.
Yep.
A lot more exciting games. Speaking of which, 2 last ones here that are going to be great. Oh, C-Mac became a member. Let's go. Fire up the engines. Let's bring back that Halloween music.
Video game music on volume 90.
I can't even find where that is. Here, to celebrate Halloween, AI-generated Halloween music. Happy Halloween. Thank you for becoming a member, C-Mac. That rules, dude.
This feels like campaign mode.
Yeah, and just so you know, C-Mac, because I just want to tell people, because I've been seeing people on like Sunday morning, and they'll put in a $5 super chat to get their question moved ahead, which we appreciate. And I love that. Do the super chats. We do love that. But you can just become a member for $5, and then you get all your questions moved ahead in every show whenever. That's what members get. You also get access to the cool emojis and stuff in there. Throw the Coop emoji in there. Colby, do you have an emoji?
Nope.
Oh, we're going to talk to Grant.
It'd just be a Texans emoji.
We got to talk to Grant. No, dude. Pick something else. Beer emoji.
Ooh.
Now you're
all I can think of right now, this music makes me think I'm playing like Game of Thrones, the video game, and I'm just like walking around the town waiting for like the Red Wedding or something. This is what it makes me think of.
Did they come out with a video game? I think they kind of ruined all their marketing, by the way.
If they did, this is where they got the sound from. This is just clipped from the game.
That's the sound. They got all sorts of weird music in here. Okay, so awesome. Happy Halloween, C-Mac. Thank you for joining. But yeah, that lets you cut the line for any questions, anything, all the time, man. It means a lot to us. So awesome. One more question in here. Chimray, Addison, Parker, Washington. So I got the official, just because I've heard people say it every other way. I finally just asked Mike Dempsey, who calls games on the radio for the Jaguars in the Titans division. He says it's Chimray DK. That's it. So if he says it, that's good enough for me, right?
Yep.
Good. Chimray, Addison, Parker, Washington this week. All of them have their warts. They all have their own different warts.
They sure do. I think I'm going to go DK, to be honest.
Me too. I like that because Addison's got a backup, or not a backup, but he's got a very unproven quarterback. He's got a lot of target competition. Not a great matchup. They play a lot of man to man. He could pop one, and then Parker Washington is just a super discount Godwin.
Yep.
Yeah, like dollar store Godwin this week.
Yep.
Go DK, man. Seahawks, Commanders.
JSN.
Yeah, that's right. Boring, but correct.
Boring. He's got like $120 plus in this game.
He's so good, bro. I have a team, dude. In the are you in the Independence Day League with us on Fantrax?
Nope.
Dude, my wide receivers in that league. Guess what they are?
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yep.
Rashee Rice.
Better.
Oh, Nico Collins.
Better.
Christian Kirk. Better than JSN.
Right at the very top.
Right? Chase, Jefferson, Nakua.
I have Puka Nakua, JSN, and CeeDee Lamb. Those are my 3 wide receivers in that league. It's a 2 tight end league, so people were picking Trey McBride and Brock Bowers in the first round. So I got Puka in the second round. And then I took JSN in the third round.
Well, that draft, I'm assuming that draft happened on the 4th, right?
It was right. Yeah, it was right
So that
around
was still when Matt Stafford was hiding out in the hyperbaric chamber with or without a back at that point. No one knew.
there. Yeah. So the thing is that my team is like 4-4 because of the injuries and stuff. And
Yeah.
like I lost last week when Adams and Nakua were on bye week.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, don't let that team. And my quarterback's Mahomes. So don't let that team get hot. And I scrapped it together with Pitts and Juwan Johnson as my 2 tight ends in like later rounds. If they let me make the playoffs, they are done.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's where we are on that. Commanders here. Is there a commander at all?
It would be Jaden, but we're gonna end up probably going Josh Allen.
You're
But
definitely going Josh Allen.
because Terry McLaurin's not gonna play, I don't really want Debo. I don't want Ertz. I don't want any of their running backs. Don't want the defense. Don't want the kicker.
It's actually not a bad matchup for Ertz with
No.
Julian Love out, but not something like this because we would never rank him top 5 because he's very slow.
Yep.
But he's a good regular start for regular leagues. This is not a regular league. What we're doing here is an FFPC lineup. I'll tell you all about it after we talk about this next team here. Is there going to be a CFS game where JSN is not in play for this? Nah, dude.
Every game.
Last year he was basically a part-time slot guy. That's it. This year he runs 80% of his snaps out wide. They use pre-snap motion incredibly. The play action with the fullback and these guys is awesome. I mean, like, conditions are perfect. If they trade for Rashid Shaheed or if Torrey Horton turns into a thing and can surpass Cooper Kupp, this team could be real dangerous, man. Could be real dangerous. And Elijah Arroyo finally caught 5 balls. Tell you, I like Clint Kubiak, man. If teams like this offense, people should give. And I know it's a sore spot for you as a Texans fan, but like I think you know who I'm about to say, right?
Yeah. No, go ahead. Because I'll add to it.
I think Bobby Slowick deserves another shot. I think Bobby Slowick. Is that what you thought I might say?
No, I thought you were going to compliment the scheme, and I was going to agree with you. You just have to be able to iterate on it and constantly tweak it, and that seemed to be Slowick's issue.
That was Slowick's problem. Yeah, because once they brought 3 wide receivers in, he didn't know what to do. Right.
Nope.
That was the problem. And because he had to go away from his fullback. But like, if you wanted to run this scheme with a fullback and 2 wide receivers, I think Bobby could be that guy. But you're right, not ready to be. He couldn't adjust. He couldn't adjust to the personnel he was given, which that gets you fired. And he did get fired because of it. But I think that if you like that kind of scheme, man, Slowick, I mean Mike McDaniel, when he gets fired, those guys run the same scheme.
Yep.
Last game here. This is a big one. We're going to have guys from both sides. Cowboys, Cardinals, man. The Cowboys side, what are you thinking?
CeeDee Lamb, obviously. I think
he rules.
Against Arizona. They haven't been necessarily as bad this year as years past, but they're still very generous. So I know Ferguson was a sore spot from last week, but
Ferguson's dead to me. He's dead to me. I don't care. Somebody else can start him.
Fair enough.
I'll lose. I'd rather lose. If he comes out and has 10 targets this week, we'll consider him in week 10.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm so pissed at him, dude. Because our team was great, dude. We had like a bunch of we hit on a ton of the other plays. Somebody else started basically our lineup with Tucker Kraft instead of Ferguson, and then they started a different running back instead of Bijan. I don't know why they didn't start Bijan. It just blows my mind, dude. It's Colby. It's Colby Stan from South Park. No, Colby is our friend Howard Bender. You see, he's got the fingerless gloves, the Alaska in the background. Here, let me put you up here real quick. There you go. Now you get the full Bender. Can I get another oh baby?
Oh baby.
There, see? Now you guys get it. So awesome. On the
I
Cardinals,
guess it's my last day with Fantasy Alarm, so it's been fun.
I can't wait to send this to him. The Cardinals side, what do you got?
McBride.
Yeah.
I really want to put Kyler. It's just I can't trust him. But it's such a good matchup. Such a good matchup.
Yeah, I like Marv. And I'll tell you what, would never do it here, but I actually am streaming Michael Wilson in a couple spots.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have him in the DFS article? As a dart
Michael
throw?
Wilson is not in the DFS.
Roll him in as a dart throw, man. I'm telling you, this guy gets 4 or 5 targets a week. In a matchup like this, it could be 5, 6, 7. And the Cardinals are actually the second worst team in DVOA against wide receiver 2s, behind only the Jets, who are on bye this week. So, you don't have to put him in. You don't have to put him in. We've said it on the show, but yeah, he's a deep dart throw in my opinion. Oh, actually, he wouldn't be in the article if he plays on Monday.
Yep.
Yeah. You were going to say that, weren't you?
No, I was gonna kind of let it go, but
Okay.
you mentioned it.
And well, I guess maybe, yeah. Is this the
If someone says like, "Are you this?" I just say yes. Don't even
yeah,
just. I would just say yes.
the answer is actually yes. I am
Yep.
the Quaker Oats guy. Awesome. So here's what we're doing, folks. What we've been doing here is pulling all the super chalk plays, right? The top of the top, the best of the best of the best. And now we're going to make an FFPC lineup. Now, the rules over at FFPC are that you can't start two players from the same team. You can basically do whatever else you want, like no draft, no salary. So we're about to put together a team that's going to blow your little mind. So let's look at going through what are some guys that we said we're 100% using. We said Josh Allen,
Said
right?
Josh Allen. We said Kaimi Fairbairn,
We said Fairbairn, which is great. We said CMC, right?
Chase.
CMC Chase. Okay, let's put that in as our core right now. So this is how it looks over here. Um, we'll start with Josh
I
Allen.
think my favorite thing that we've done this with the first thing we identify was the first two players we are putting in our lineup, no matter what, are Josh Allen and Kaimi Fairbairn.
I mean, just you
That's
got to
great.
start. You got to start with the most important pieces, which clearly those are the guys. We're gonna start Jamar Chase because he's averaging.
Oh, and Rashi. I think that was another one we were kind of
Oh yeah. Because that's why we used
yeah
the
CMC
whole the
Rashi.
whole point of using Josh Allen was so we could use Rushy Rice.
Yeah,
Yes, good. Okay, so we have our wide receivers in. We need one more running back to just get the core part of the lineup, and then it's all flexes and tight ends and stuff. So one more running back. The guys we put in the sheet. Let me switch back over to the sheet. The guys
I
we
know
put
we
in the
had.
sheet are Gibbs, Vidal, Jacobs, Swift, Bijan, not Travion Henderson. This is the first not we've ever put in the lineup. You see. Tracy Taylor. And
If
then
we
no.
don't go, if we're pretty much gonna go like the Gadsdens or the Bowerses of the world, that takes out Tyler Warren, which then puts us to Jonathan Taylor.
We have to start Jonathan Taylor. He's been too good, dude. He has 12 touchdowns.
Yep.
He has 12 touchdowns. Um, did I mention that he has 12 touchdowns already? I mean, just like
And he has
there's got to be
multiple 3 touchdown games too, I think.
yeah. I'm
Something like
telling
that.
you right now, if we use Pitts at tight end, we can do whatever we want with the rest of the lineup.
I mean, I like Kyle Pitts.
But do we want to do that?
Well, we can't do Tyler Ferguson or Jake Ferguson because you're against
Yeah.
him forever until next week.
Yep. Yeah, I'm against him until next week. Back on the sheet here. Any other must starts? We got to have a Lion. We doing Gibbs?
Yeah, I'm good with Gibbs.
Yeah. Well, you were the one that said that it was
I do love St. Brown. That's not necessarily an indictment on Gibbs, just an endorsement of
yeah.
St.
They're both
Brown.
good. Well, that's the most difficult part about this format. It's not putting Puka Nacua in the lineup, which we're going to do too right now. The most difficult part is choosing between two teams that have two very, very good players. That's the hard part. Going through these wide receivers, is there another why do I put CMC? This is the second week in a row I put CMC on your wide receiver.
Because he's a wide receiver, it's
Because
fine.
he is. Yeah. I mean, that's where he belongs. Oh,
JSN.
and Lamb too, huh?
Now, there's a benefit to having a Monday guy I know they're the Sunday night game, right?
Because we can pivot.
Because you can
JSN
pivot
Sunday, and we could
and
probably
Dallas
start
Monday.
Lamb, dude, too.
Yeah, put JSN and Lamb because I guess worst comes to worst. Like I saw there was a comment in there about George Pickens, and I will always default to CeeDee Lamb over George Pickens 9 times out of 10. But there could be an element if we go into Monday night, we're kind of near, but we need to gain kind of a little bit of leverage. We could flop from Lamb to Pickens at that point, right?
We could flop from Lamb to Pickens. We could flop from, if we don't use McBride at tight end, we could flop from Lamb to McBride.
In this contest, do you try to avoid a player against your defense? Because we kind of talked about liking Jacksonville's defense, but we also highlighted Brock Bowers.
Dude, we should just use Jacksonville's defense and start McBride.
Okay.
The thing about this contest that I think we've gotten lost in the weeds in before is that you just want to have the best players. There's no prices. There's no draft. There's no advantage to being really sneaky, dude.
Yeah.
You just want to have the best players. And I think this week, maybe we just go pure and utter beautiful chalk. I mean, What are we missing here? What major players could come back to bite us? I don't think there's one at quarterback besides Mahomes, and we've already made that call, right?
Yep.
At running back, we have Taylor. Bijan could burn us, but the Patriots
Jacobs maybe could burn us, but
Jacobs could burn us.
if he doesn't get the touchdowns, there are guys that we have, like McCaffrey doesn't have to score a touchdown to get 20 fantasy points, believe it or not. He just is so good. Taylor just does score touchdowns, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But Jacobs isn't going for $170. He's going to need the 80 and 2 touchdowns to burn us.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He's not a big rip off an 80-yard. He's going to rip off an 80-yard touchdown now that I said that.
Well, yeah, but we can't do anything about that now.
Can't do anything about it now. We got Nakua, JSN, and Chase. Can't use Amon-Ra since we're using Gibbs. Can't use Pickens since we're using Lamb.
Did we put Lamb in yet?
He's in already, yeah.
Okay.
Jefferson.
Hey, if someone wants to play Jefferson, kudos to them for doing it. I respect it. I don't know if I have the cojones to do it, but
I just don't think that the guys we're leaving out are like Tucker Kraft could burn us. There's maybe 5 guys that could burn us here. Warren, Gadsden. Ooh, Gadsden, you dirty rat. Well, if we put McBride in the tight end spot, then our only pivot for Lamb becomes Pickens or Marv. No, we can't go Marv. We could go the complete flip flop. The thing we keep in our back pocket here is flipping to Ferguson and Marv if we're losing and somebody ahead of us has 2 guys left. It would be so obvious. And it shows you what positions they have left, and it'll show if it shows tight end, we can assume they're using McBride, right?
Right.
So we'll keep that in our back pocket in case we need it. Break glass. And then defense options. Oh man, see.
We do have New England. I'd be in on New England.
The Chargers against Tennessee, dude.
Oh, or Chargers. I guess
we didn't use that's my number 1 ranked defense.
And we didn't use stud Vidal. So yeah, as much as I like Jacksonville and we like New England, you got to go Chargers.
It's my number 1 ranked defense.
Go to chalk.
Yeah, awesome, man. Dude, and Fairbairn could be the whole difference because I don't think other people are doing that. That's our sneaky play. If he comes out and scores 15 points, everybody's gonna have McManus or Santos or some of these other guys, dude. It'll be the only thing keeping me sane during that game if they're kicking field goals.
What you say? It'll be the only thing that keeps me sane during that game if Houston's just settling for field goals all the time.
Yeah. I mean, no one's gonna scroll down and put him in there. That's our ringer, dude. That's the ringer. And this is why this website's so cool, man, because you can start a lineup like this. Look at this team. We've not broken the rules. We're not cheating in any way. And our lineup is Josh Allen. Our running backs are Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, and Jahmyr Gibbs. And then our wide receivers are Rashee Rice, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and CeeDee Lamb. At tight end, we have our number 1 ranked tight end, Trey McBride. At defense, we have our number 1 ranked defense in the Chargers. And then we have the ringer, the sweet, sweet Fairbairn, man. Money at home, money in the dome.
I tell you, if this lineup goes well and it's because Fairbairn sets it off, I know what my next jersey will be. And what will be hung in the lurve, as the kids say. It'll be hung up for everyone to see.
In the lurve, dude. Swerve it to the lurve. And I'll tell you, if we win, we're splitting the money down the middle, dude. We're putting $100 aside. And we'll put $50 aside for drinks at the expo, and then the rest we'll just put in our pockets. So that's what you do. Go over to myffpc.com, use promo code ALARM or scan that QR code, and you can play too. My recommendation: deposit $45, and then they give you $25, and then you can play 2 of these. They're $35 a piece. This is the 10. So there's multiple levels. There's a 10-team one. There's a 30-team one. There's a 100-team one, and then you have a couple that are higher up there in terms of you can do like $100 and all that. You see our team name?
Yeah, I like it.
Happy Reese Halloween.
Yep.
It's a bit of a stretch, but I was having trouble coming up with a Halloween pun.
That's punny.
It's punny enough, dude. So there you go. That is what we got going on. Colby, let everybody know what you got going on. Let everybody know what you're writing this week, what shows you got going on, what's going on with Fantasy Spin and the gang.
Yep, absolutely. Over on X at Colby R. Conway. Then obviously at Fantasy Alarm, got the DFS wide receiver coach pumping out a little MLB content as the World Series wraps up. And then, doing some fantasy spin stuff as well. So if you want a fun way to play DFS, make sure you check that out. But for this week, head over, check out the DFS wide receiver coach at Fantasy Alarm. some names like Rashi Rice, Lad McConkey, and others.
That's it from Colby, Howard Bender, Conway, from Andrew Cooper and the Revolution. This has been your spooky Halloween music spooktacular here at Fantasy Alarm. I will not be on the show tonight because I'll be taking my daughter to run around the neighborhood and get candy. So no Coop tonight on SiriusXM, but make sure you check out the show. Because Howard's got something. Howard's doing a solo Halloween show. He got something special planned for you guys that I think you're going to like. So 6 to 8 p.m., Channel 87, get in on that. I will be back on the YouTube and on SiriusXM 10 to 11 and then 11 to noon on Sunday. So everybody, hats off to you. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good Halloween, but we are out of here.
Adios, turd nuggets.